Welcome back to the True Tomorrows podcast.
Yes, welcome back.
Another cool weekly dive into the wild and captivating world of galactic science fiction tales, straight from the realms of flash fiction.
Think blockbuster films in your ears, right?
Absolutely.
Buckle up.
Rate and follow for more incredible True Tomorrows. Today, we're launching a science fiction probe into not one, but two thrilling flash fiction stories.
Oh, double feature.
You, the learner, sent in these fantastic snippets.
Love that.
We've extracted the most intriguing nuggets just for you.
The best of the best.
Our mission today is to unpack these imaginative worlds and see what surprising insights they hold.
Absolutely.
You're looking for knowledge that's both quick and thorough, and we're here to deliver those aha moments without overwhelming you.
No problem. We got you covered.
First up, Hail Caesar Redux. Picture this. A neo-Roman empire teetering on the edge.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Now, what if they decided the answer was to bring back their greatest leader?
I mean, bold move.
We're talking about resurrecting Julius Caesar himself as a clone.
As a clone.
This flash fiction story dives into his struggle as he tries to navigate a whole web of old grudges and some brand new power plays.
The more things change.
All to try and save the empire from collapsing.
Right.
The source material you provided gives us a fascinating look at his tense interactions with senators.
High stakes.
The strategic genius that's clearly still there.
Huh.
And this constant feeling that betrayal could be just around the corner.
Classic Roman drama.
Then we'll completely shift gears.
Okay.
Journey to the cosmos.
All right.
To explore the immortal Emperor Qin. This tale blasts us out to the stars where Qin Shi Huang, completely obsessed with achieving immortality,
Oh, I've heard of this guy.
rules a distant planet with an iron fist. We'll delve into the rebellion that his oppressive rule sparks, and the really unexpected direction his desperate quest for eternal life ultimately takes. Your sources paint such a vivid picture, a truly tyrannical emperor,
Got it.
a brave and defiant slave, and this incredible journey into the vast unknown. So buckle up, the learner.
Pull on tight.
We're about to embark on a truly fascinating journey, traveling through empires of both the past and the far future. And along the way, we'll be exploring some pretty big ideas, like the intoxicating pull of power, the relentless nature of ambition, and even what it truly means to leave a lasting mark.
Heady stuff.
Let's kick off our science fiction probe with Hail Caesar Redux. The story throws us right into the Senate, and you can almost feel the tense atmosphere as Caius.
Oh, here we go.
This so-called true clone of Julius Caesar stands before a room full of senators who are clearly on edge.
I can imagine.
Senator Petronius immediately tries to cut him down to size, dismissively calling him nothing more than an experiment.
Ouch.
What really grabbed you from this opening scene?
You know, it's that immediate clash between the perceived utility of Caius as a tool, right, and the inherent unpredictability of resurrecting such a powerful historical figure. Petronius's dismissal reveals a blindness to the fact that you can't simply replicate the mind and ambition of someone like Caesar and expect complete control.
Exactly. And Caius's response is just spot on.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't back down for a second. He immediately throws their own failures right back in their faces,
I love it.
pointing out the dire state of the Republic barbarians at the gates, rebellions within, and he sharply contrasts their petty infighting with the very real and urgent threats facing them. It's almost like his creators thought they were getting a programmable asset.
Right.
But instead, they accidentally reignited the very spirit of Caesar, complete with his razor-sharp understanding of ambition and, crucially, the ever-present threat of betrayal. It's interesting that even a clone of Caesar faces such immediate distrust.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Does this suggest that true authority is about more than just a famous name or past achievements?
that's a crucial point. Caius's lineage gives him a certain weight, but authority needs to be earned and constantly asserted.
Right.
The senator's fear likely stems from the understanding that a figure like Caesar, even a resurrected one, represents a potential disruption to the existing power structure. Their skepticism isn't just about him being a clone. It's about the inherent threat any strong leader poses to a collective body like the Senate.
It certainly does. Moving from that charged public setting to Caius's private quarters,
Okay.
the stark contrast between his almost austere lifestyle
Okay.
and the senator's gilded excesses is quite telling.
Interesting.
This isn't just a detail. It really emphasizes his intense focus on strategy and the serious business of survival. The map of the empire, covered in vital information, becomes a powerful symbol of his priorities.
I see.
And then we're introduced to Livia, his bodyguard. The description of her as pretty, with the coiled strengths of a trained viper.
Wow.
And the immediate hint of her own ambition is fascinating. What were your initial impressions of this character and the potential for a complex dynamic with Caius?
Well, Livia's introduction is brilliantly efficient. That description immediately conveys both her allure and her inherent danger. What's fascinating here is the implicit parallel drawn between her coiled strength and the simmering tensions within the empire itself.
Yeah.
She's not just a bodyguard. She's a symbol of the ambition and potential for upheaval that exists within this crumbling society.
Her quiet observation, they see you as a pawn, really hits home the precariousness of Caius's position. He might look like Caesar and maybe even think like him. But he's still viewed as a tool to be used and then discarded.
Yeah.
And this sets up his internal conflict so well.
Right.
He was created as a temporary fix, but as we both know, the original Caesar was never one to simply fade away.
Never.
His loaded question to Livia, what do you want? And her incredibly compelling answer, a world worth fighting for. It just sparks this immediate sense that a powerful alliance built on their shared ambition could be forming. What did you make of this budding and potentially very dangerous relationship? That line about being seen as a pawn really struck me.
It did.
It highlights the inherent vulnerability in Caius's position, despite his powerful lineage. Were there any other moments where you felt his lack of true autonomy was particularly evident?
Well, that question, what do you want, is pivotal. It's Caesar, in essence, recognizing a kindred spirit in Livia, someone who isn't content with the status quo. Her answer isn't about personal gain.
Right.
At least not immediately. It's about a larger vision. This suggests the potential for a more profound connection than just a power dynamic.
Right.
His vulnerability lies in his manufactured nature. He lacks the organic roots of the traditional power players. He needs allies like Livia to navigate that landscape.
It's a relationship built on mutual recognition, I think. They both see something of themselves in the other's ambition and their understanding of the brutal realities of power. The flash fiction story then cleverly shifts to the battlefield, immediately subverting expectations. These aren't the easily dismissed, disorganized barbarian hordes that the Republic seems to believe in. Instead, they're depicted as a highly organized and fiercely driven force. Caius, leading his legionaries, acts as this potent symbol of the past, yes, but his military strategy is clearly evolving. It's described as a blend of classic tactics, the tried and true methods, combined with a ruthless efficiency that suggests he's learned from his predecessor's mistakes.
Interesting.
This detail is crucial because it emphasizes that he isn't just a carbon copy. He's adapting, learning, and potentially surpassing the original. What does this suggest about his ultimate potential for success, not just on the battlefield, but in the wider political arena?
Precisely. His battlefield prowess isn't just a nostalgic callback to Caesar's victories. It's a demonstration of his continued relevance and adaptability. This ruthless efficiency hints at a pragmatism that might allow him to succeed where the original Caesar faced limitations due to the conventions of his time. It suggests a leader willing to break with tradition when necessary, a trait that could be both his greatest strength and his ultimate undoing in the eyes of the traditionalist senators.
It suggests he's far more dangerous than anyone anticipated.
Right.
He's not just a figurehead. He's a thinking, evolving strategist.
Right.
And then, bam, the rug is completely pulled out from under us with that signal flare from his own lines.
Oh, no.
Treachery.
Classic.
The reveal of Senator Petronius as the betrayer is almost predictable in a Roman context. But the sheer arrogance that blinds him to the true nature of Caius is what's really striking. The description of Caius's reaction is so visceral, so immediate. His hand instinctively going to that legionary blade, the rage that's been simmering beneath the surface for what feels like centuries finally being unleashed. Petronius' death is swift, almost casual in its brutality, which is somehow even more shocking.
Right.
What does this moment signify for Caius's overall transformation?
Well, Petronius' betrayal is a stark reminder that even in the face of a common enemy, personal ambition and old grudges can take precedence. Caius' swift and brutal response signifies a definitive break from his intended role as a puppet. It's a moment where the spirit of the original Caesar fully reasserts itself. He's no longer just reacting. He's acting decisively to eliminate threats and consolidate his own authority.
Absolutely. Petronius's death marks a definitive break from his intended role. It's a moment of brutal self-assertion. And the ending is deliberately not the triumphant return to a grateful city that one might expect. Instead, we see this solitary figure on a windswept hill, the fractured empire stretching out before him. Livia, now his general, standing resolutely at his side, her ambition clearly mirroring his own, underscores this shift in power. His words, "We can rebuild," not the Rome of the past, but the Rome that could have been, signal not just a coup, but a fundamental reimagining of what Rome could be. It's a coup born from a deep personal understanding of the corrosive effects of betrayal and the inherent flaws of unchecked power.
Wow.
And that final thought, the need to deal with the general who still sees him as a mere pawn, it leaves us with this sense that while history might offer echoes and parallels, it's never a simple repetition. So looking back at Caius's journey through this flash fiction story, what would you say are the key takeaways for you?
The core takeaway for me is the enduring power of ambition and the cyclical nature of power struggles. Even in a seemingly controlled environment, the drive for individual agency and a better future can lead to unexpected outcomes. Caius's journey highlights the tension between the desire to restore a glorious past and the necessity of forging a new path forward.
Agreed. Now let's journey to the cosmos and explore the very different yet equally compelling world of the immortal Emperor Qin. This flash fiction story opens on Terra Nova, a planet where Emperor Qin, having somehow achieved immortality, rules with an absolute iron fist.
Got it.
But what's immediately striking is that his immortality hasn't brought him any sense of contentment or peace. He's still relentlessly driven by this deep-seated need to find the secret to true eternal life out among the stars.
Okay.
What does this initial depiction of this immortal emperor tell you about his character and the potential themes of this story?
That relentless pursuit, despite achieving what most would consider the ultimate goal, speaks volumes about the human condition. It suggests that perhaps the value isn't in the destination, but in the journey itself.
Right.
His dissatisfaction hints at a deeper existential unease, a fear that mere endless existence is meaningless without true understanding or transcendence.
A pivotal moment then occurs with the rather dramatic arrival of a young slave girl named May, who is caught in the act of stealing a highly valuable prototype energy cell. What's truly remarkable about this scene isn't just the theft itself, but May's incredible defiance, her complete lack of fear even when standing before an immortal emperor. Her reason for stealing, "You stole from the heavens, seizing a life that was not yours, no traitor to the natural order," is incredibly bold and carries a significant moral weight. What does this initial confrontation reveal about the central themes of the flash fiction story and the contrasting perspectives of these two characters?
May's defiance, fueled by this sense of natural justice, immediately positions her as the moral compass of the story. Her words challenge the very definition of power and authority in this context. Qin's immortality, rather than being a testament to his strength, is framed as a transgression against the natural order, highlighting the potential ethical complexities of such an achievement.
And in a surprising turn, instead of immediate brutal punishment, Qin finds himself intrigued by May's audacity. The flash fiction story then jumps forward several months, and we learn that the palace is now trembling. Not from a widespread rebellion, but from May's intense experiments with that stolen energy cell. It turns out she possesses this innate, almost intuitive understanding of energy that far surpasses the knowledge of the Emperor's own highly trained scientists. And Qin, in a moment of perhaps unexpected foresight, sees the potential of this advanced technology not as a weapon to be turned against him, but as key to the stars, a means to further his own obsessive quest. What does this rather unexpected development suggest about Qin's complex character? Is he purely a tyrant, or is there something more to his motivations?
Qin's intrigue reveals a certain intellectual curiosity beneath the tyrannical exterior. He's not simply crushing dissent, he's recognizing and potentially harnessing a unique talent. This suggests that his pursuit of immortality might be intertwined with the desire for greater understanding.
Right.
A thirst for knowledge that transcends his need for control.
This unlikely partnership then takes shape in secret.
Okay.
They begin to build a ship,
Right.
described as a scalpel against the blunt force of his empire, which is a fantastic image. May, the former slave, is now calculating complex interstellar trajectories. While Qin, the seemingly all-powerful emperor, is using his vast network of resources to seek out whispers and legends of ancient lost civilizations that also sought and perhaps even found a way to transcend death.
Interesting.
This collaboration between tyrant and rebel is utterly fascinating.
It is.
What kind of dynamic do you envision developing between them during this clandestine and incredibly high-stakes journey into the unknown?
It's a relationship forged out of necessity and a shared, albeit differently motivated, ambition. Qin sees Mei as a means to an end, while Mei might see an opportunity to leverage Qin's resources for her own as yet undefined goals. There's an inherent tension in their collaboration, a silent power struggle beneath the surface of their joint endeavor.
Their quest ultimately leads them to this desolate, almost apocalyptic graveyard world, a stark and rather unsettling warning about the potential pitfalls of seeking transcendence. The intense radiation is deadly, a sensation that Qin, in his millennia of unnatural life, hasn't felt in an incredibly long time. Yet amidst this decay, Mei makes a profound discovery. She uncovers the truth about those ancient beings. They didn't achieve traditional immortality in the way Qin envisioned, but rather transcendence into pure energy forms. This revelation completely shifts the entire premise of Qin's obsession and the nature of his search.
Wow.
What are your initial thoughts on this concept of transcendence as opposed to the traditional idea of simply living forever in a physical body?
This concept of transcendence versus physical immortality presents a fascinating dichotomy. Physical immortality is about extending the individual lifespan indefinitely, whereas transcendence suggests a fundamental shift in the nature of existence, a potential merging with something larger than the self. It challenges our anthropocentric view of life and opens up possibilities for existence beyond our current comprehension.
And just as this profound revelation occurs,
Oh.
the blaring of alarms shatters the moment.
Right.
The palace guard inevitably has tracked their clandestine ship. Mei, filled with what's described as desperate hope, immediately wants to return to Terra Nova and teach them to share this newfound understanding of transcendence with her people. But in this crucial moment, Qin experiences a profound shift in perspective, a moment of incredible clarity.
Okay.
He looks at his vast empire, his seemingly eternal rule, and for the first time, he sees it not as a triumph, but as a cage.
Oh, wow.
A gilded prison that has kept him bound to a limited form of existence. In a truly pivotal decision, he chooses not to pursue transcendence for himself. Instead, he empowers Mei to carry the potential for change for a different kind of future back to her oppressed people.
Wow.
His final words, "Mei, finish it," mark the symbolic end of his long reign and his entire lineage. What does this ultimate decision reveal about the evolution of Qin's character throughout this flash fiction story?
Qin's final act is a powerful subversion of the typical tyrant narrative. He recognizes the ultimate limitations of his own pursuit and, in a moment of profound empathy, chooses to prioritize the potential liberation of his people over his own continued existence, albeit in a transcendent form. It suggests that true power lies not in eternal rule, but in the ability to inspire lasting change.
And so, Mei pilots the ship back towards Terra Nova, leaving behind the physical remains of the dead emperor, but carrying something far more potent, the trail of rebellion brighter than any star. This ending leaves us with this incredibly powerful and enduring image of hope, of the potential for liberation and a future unburdened by the tyranny of an immortal ruler. What lasting impression does Mei's journey and Qin's truly unexpected ultimate choice leave you with, the learner?
The ending underscores the idea that even the most oppressive regimes can be challenged, and that the pursuit of a better future can outshine even those formidable power structures. Mei's journey is a testament to the enduring human spirit of resistance and the potential for unexpected alliances to spark profound change.
Absolutely. What incredible journeys these two flash fiction stories have taken us on.
Yeah.
From the resurrected Caesar grappling with the ever-present ghosts of the past, to the immortal emperor finding a completely different kind of legacy in the vast expanse of space, these tales really offer us so much to consider. We sincerely hope this science fiction probe has provided you, the learner, with some truly fascinating insights and those satisfying aha moments you were hoping for.
I hope so too.
Think about the interesting parallels between these two narratives. Both feature incredibly powerful figures who are facing significant internal and external threats to their seemingly unshakable authority. And yet their responses to these challenges and ultimately their final fates are so dramatically different. What do these stories taken together tell us about the fundamental nature of power, the relentless drive of ambition, and the often unpredictable paths that history, or indeed the future, can ultimately take?
And consider this. For Hail Caesar Redux, what kind of future do you envision for Caius and his newly conceived Rome? Will he ultimately succeed in building a stronger, more resilient empire? Or are the very seeds of betrayal and conflict already sown within this new order?
Right.
And for the immortal Emperor Qin, what will May ultimately do with the profound knowledge of transcendence that she now carries? How will her return to Terra Nova ignite the flames of rebellion amongst her people?
These are really just the starting points for a much deeper exploration. We'd encourage you, the learner, to delve further into these compelling themes, perhaps by exploring historical accounts of Julius Caesar's life and times, or by pondering the profound philosophical implications of both immortality and transcendence. What other science fiction stories explore similar thought-provoking ideas?
Thank you for joining us on the True Tomorrows podcast for this cool weekly exploration into the captivating world of flash fiction. We genuinely hope you enjoyed this science fiction probe. Please be sure to rate and follow the show so you don't miss out on our next incredible journey into the realms of True Tomorrows.
Until our next dive, keep exploring the amazing and often surprising possibilities of what tomorrow might actually hold.